If manifestation actually worked the way that you were taught, you wouldn't be stuck. I will explain this, and at the end of this video, you will have a breakthrough and you will never be stuck again. Today, we're talking about how to see the bigger picture of the energy that you are embodying so that you can change it right now. I'm going to give you simple steps to alchemize the old energy, and you will start to create a new reality today. Before we can fix something, we have to understand it. So what does that mean to be stuck? I'm going to walk you through my process of how I alchemize energy that has transformed my manifestation process. And I've only learned this through trial and error and experience. So the first step is you need to research this energy. What does that mean to be stuck? Okay, so what I did is I simply look up the definition, and if I Google it or something and it's not the definition that resonates with me, I will go to ChatGPT and just keep digging down that rabbit hole until I really find that definition that resonates for the energy that I am feeling. Okay, so I'm just gonna read you the definition that I found that really resonated with me. Being stuck means feeling unable to move forward, change, or progress in a physical, mental, or emotional situation. It is characterized by inertia, stagnation, a lack of control, and often brings feelings of frustration, hopelessness, or being trapped. It can mean being trapped in a rut, a job, or a difficult situation. So when I kind of meditate on this, I see this as being that you're agreeing with a victim mentality. Because if you are not moving forward, but you want to, then you're powerless over the situation. So since you're now in agreement with a victim mentality, you will continue to attract this same energy over and over again. So you will feel powerless and you're just waiting for someone to come along and change it or fix it. Or like if you look at current manifestation, all of these rituals or processes, you're doing all this stuff but not really seeing any results. That is exactly like spinning on a hamster wheel kind of energy, which is creating this feeling of, well, I'm not moving forward, so I'm stuck. So doing that research is the most important part, because you need to understand that on a frequency level, there are two equal and opposite sides. So if you have powerlessness on one end, then you have power on the other. If you have victim on one end, then you would have leader on the other, right? So you have to understand how transmutation works, and it comes down to really researching and figuring out what you want to choose. So I think the biggest mistake that I was making, and I know a lot of other people make, was that I was believing that I didn't know what to do. But that's not true. Again, that is like an energy of powerlessness, right? But I would focus on trying to find the answer or waiting for the answer to come to me. And that just left me feeling even worse. So the answer to this is you need to be looking for the feeling within you. Now, I had to do a little bit more research on if I looked up the opposite of victim, okay? I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this up on the screen. I'm going to try, but if not, I'm just going to go over it. So when I found there was a chart where it showed the feature how you would feel if you were in a victim mentality, and then the opposite, which would be the ownership, or I like to look at it as like leadership. Okay, so loss of control would be in a victim mentality, you're feeling that life is happening to you like in a negative way, like you have no control. And the opposite of that is that I happen to life, or I create my reality, right? Okay, so response to failure. Now, this one can be very tricky because it's blaming others, or you're just thinking like, oh, it's just bad luck. And the blaming others can be very tricky because it can be a very subtle energy, like the reason why things are happening to you is because of this, 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 and this. It can even be anything outside of yourself that you're placing blame on why things are happening to you in that way. The opposite of that is that you take responsibility and you are actively seeking for solutions to that, which is actively like doing something, making decisions, moving forward, something like that. So for me, I have to really feel inside, okay? And that's through meditation, or even just like questioning myself. I will do that a lot so that I can understand truly the energy that is, that I'm really feeling. So, okay, here's another one. Where is your focus? So if you're in a victim mentality, your focus is going to be on the pain that someone is causing you, or the past pain, or unfairness, or you were dealt a bad hand, or this all happened because of some other reason. But mainly your focus is on it wasn't fair, or this past pain that you keep like staring at as the reason why. And the opposite of that would be that your focus is on future goals and your growth. So that's a huge shift. If you just think of it like that, like where you're constantly sitting here thinking, well, of course I can't move forward because I've endured so much trauma and I'm so messed up and I just have to like deal with what I have to deal with. And that's where your focus is just, well, this is all that happened to me, so I guess this is what I have to live. And that is living in this stuck place, okay? But if your focus is on like your growth and your future goals, then that's a totally different energy. That is, you are the leader. You are moving forward no matter whether you win or lose or whatever, but you're still focused on your goals and not anything else. And then there's the agency, which for victim mentality, it's passive and helpless. So again, just not moving forward, choosing not to do anything, and feeling like you don't know what to do. And then the opposite of that would be taking action and being decisive. And doing that, you will start to move forward. You've now you've chosen the opposite energy. So there can be some resistance in that, but I will talk to you about how you can easily release that resistance. Okay. The foundation is the most important part, because if you don't understand what energy you're agreeing to, then it will just become a vicious cycle. And isn't it funny how the energy will always come around, but in a different way? Like you're like, well, how did this happen to me again? But it's like, you know that it's the same feeling, but it's a whole different situation. Now, I firmly believe that your reality is trying to help you in changing up the situation, but still bringing you the same feeling, so that you will finally look at that feeling inside and decide to alchemize it. We are all truly amazing creators of our own reality. We just don't believe we are, but we are, and you absolutely can transmute that energy. But manifestation is a subconscious, automatic thing in every single person. You don't have to be doing any of these rituals or anything for you to create. But when you can truly understand and become aware of what you are creating and how you are creating it, now you're the master of your own universe, right? So to me, that was probably the most important thing, because I know for myself, I was absolutely in a victim cycle, and it just kept coming around in different ways. And I tried everything to manifest a different outcome, and nothing was working. And I think I was so frustrated that I just stopped doing it. And when I stopped doing all of that stuff that was kind of making me feel like giving me the feeling of overwhelm anyway, I realized some pretty interesting things, that I was still manifesting, I was still creating, and I was still creating the outcomes I didn't want. And so I was like, well, okay, what's the answer here? And when I started, one of my gifts is research. I absolutely love that. And I got so frustrated that I started really digging into research of energy and started looking at definitions of things. And then things started to click to me as to why things were remaining the same. So that is very important, the foundation of understanding really resonating with that definition of understanding where you're at in, like, I am stuck, so that you can choose the opposite energy. Okay. And again, that foundation is so important, because without that understanding of what you have currently been agreeing to and why you're stuck, the rest of the steps won't do anything for you. So it is in that awareness of the bigger picture energy that you are embodying. So we're going to go over a step-by-step action plan. So step one, again, is research. It is the foundation. It is the most important. This first step will help you to understand exactly the energy that you have attracted. So if you feel like I'm stuck, look up the definition, and then also look up the opposite of the definition. I will literally look in Google or ChatGPT and put in, what is the opposite of feeling stuck? And I will just kind of do some research until I find the thing that really resonates with me. Step two is all about using your voice. This is often where people get stuck, so just remember the key principle here. You are the creator of your reality by what energy you choose to agree with. You may not remember agreeing with this lower vibrational energy, but once you know that this is what you're attracting, you must disagree with it, and loudly, by saying out loud. You have authority with your voice, so use it. Say out loud, I disagree with victim mentality. I disagree with being stuck. I disagree with being passive or helpless. Use your research and disagree with everything that is on that list. Then, out loud, agree with the opposite energy. And step three is all about following up when that old energy rises up in you as a feeling. So you will get that stuck or helpless feeling again. And just the most important thing is, as soon as it rises up in you, do not sit in that energy even for a second. Use your voice and again say, I disagree with this energy. This is the phase where you will start seeing real results. But consistency is very important here. So right when you feel that energy come up, again, say it out loud. I disagree with being stuck. I disagree with feeling helpless. I disagree with not knowing what I need to do. However you feel inside that you know is that feeling that leads to that stuck mode, you have to say it right then at that moment. And then what you want to do is take imperfect action towards whatever it is that you felt you were stuck at. It doesn't matter what it is, just take some sort of action and you'll start to move forward. This is the alchemy process. You will be transformed energetically from the inside out, and you will literally be at ease, attracting your dreams, goals, visions, whatever it is. I hope that this video has helped you, and please subscribe because I will be putting out much more content and giving you exact ways to change your energy from the inside so that you just attract that which you want. Have a great day. Bye.